Happy New Year! 2018.
Happy New Year!
I can't believe how time has flown, especially the last few years. So if you are just happening upon my channel now or are pretty new to all of this, you may not know that Truly Social, the series, actually gave birth to Truly Social, the company, on January 7th, 2016. 2 years ago.
La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la, yeah.
Fast forward 2 years and there are now 9 of us working on 15 clients with more socialites joining very soon. So since this is my business anniversary, I thought it would be a good time to do a lessons learned video for anyone else looking to venture out on their own. So here are 12 lessons I've learned about being an entrepreneur. My name is Tara and this is Truly Social, the video series, but also the company. Lesson number 1, you're only as good as your reputation. If I promise and don't deliver, my reputation is mud.
I'm surprised you haven't heard about me. You know, I got a bad reputation.
A few years ago, I went into business with someone else. We had 2 great clients right out of the gate, but then she made a whole series of mistakes that ended up losing us the clients. Even after I ended the partnership, the clients didn't want to work with me anymore. They trusted me and I let them down. I'll never forget that.
You're starting to get a reputation.
Lesson number 2, there is no substitution for experience. Education, books, podcasts, videos like this from people like me, none of this trumps experience.
Imagine having an intern with a lifetime of experience as opposed to somebody who spent the last 4 years of their life playing beer pong.
When I wrote my book back in 2009, I thought I knew so much, but I really knew 1/1000th of what I know now. And I know that I'll look back at this time in 10 years and probably think the same. Lesson number 3, outsource the stuff you suck at.
You suck!
I suck at accounting, so I hire accountants. Legalese makes my head hurt, so I hire a lawyer. Trying to do this stuff not only takes crazy amounts of time, but it could also lead to big mistakes. That leads me to lesson number 4. While you're outsourcing, take that time to learn. Now, I outsource my accounting and legal and all of that stuff, but it's also been really important for me to figure out what's going on so I can protect myself and be wiser about my business.
You want the results, but you don't want to know how the sausage gets made. Well, I'll tell you how the sausage gets made.
Lesson number 5. Hire slow, fire fast. My hiring process consists of interviews, skill testing assignments, and a trial work day at the very least. It's a great way to see how a person fits into your company culture as well as handles the work. We don't lob softballs either. You do real work. On the other end, I've made some errors in judgment, and as soon as I recognize it, I let the person go. Not that I don't give a person a chance or invest in their growth, but I'm getting better at recognizing a good from a bad investment.
He's useless. Go on. Sounds good to me.
That being said, lesson number 6, talent is really hard. It's probably the hardest part of building a business, and it can make or break a small organization. Finding great talent willing to take a risk on an upstart is hard. I've been super fortunate, which I attribute to having a strong network. But now that I'm hiring more senior people, it's getting tougher. Lesson number 7, balancing growth with stability is even harder.
I love my job. I love my job. I love my job.
Now, I'm working hard enough now at growing fast enough to keep up with the work, but not so fast that I'm wrecking the culture or putting all of us at risk financially. Speaking of culture, lesson number 8, culture is your most important talent tool, and tool in general. You need to have one, especially with the millennial workforce. And culture is more than just happy hours, snacks, and social time. It's standing for something.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Which is lesson number 9. Your culture is what matters most to you. We have some core tenets, fearlessness and flawlessness, and to me, it's baked into everything we do.
This is Sparta!
From who we hire to the work we do. You invest in what matters to you. Lesson number 10, track your time. Okay, I used to hate timesheets too. Hate them. I thought they were the devil. That was until I had to get serious about planning for my future. Timesheets are the key to everything planning, from resources to estimates to budgeting and beyond, especially if you're in a services-based business. Lesson number 11, communicate, communicate, communicate.
Sometimes we forget how to do the easiest thing in the world, which is just to talk to each other.
Communicate with your team. I'm an open book, maybe too open at times, but I let them know exactly where we're at any given time. They are never in the dark and get to feel like they can be part of each step. Communicate with clients, in fact, over-communicate. If you are in the services business, constant communication is the only way that you'll maintain customer happiness. And number 3, communicate with your vendors, advisors, collaborators, followers, everyone. Your number 1 job as a founder is to communicate, and there's no such thing as over-communication.
Our exhibit.
And finally, lesson number 12. Balance billable time with learning time for everyone. When I'm resource planning, I set aside at least 10 hours per week for every team member. A few for admin stuff, but at least 6 to 8 hours of research and learning time. We produce a daily newsletter which everyone is required to contribute to. And it's not just about sharing that workload, it's about keeping everyone tied to the outside world and constantly learning.
How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building?
As I was writing this, I thought, oh, there are so many more lessons, which I think I'll leave for another video because this one's gotten pretty long. So definitely subscribe or follow me where you're watching this to get the next video. My name is Tara, and this has been Truly Social.